All right, you guys. This is probably like the fifth time I watched this movie. It's amazing. If you're a Rush fan or you want to know anything about Rush, watch Netflix Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage. It is so great. Um, I just decided to take little snippets just to put on the channel so you guys can get just a little bit. I mean, I'm not doing it justice, but I love it. Watch this part. I just want you to watch this one part. Check this out. It's so funny. Ridiculous. I loved it. Just goofy.
Oh, how predictable.
The very beginning, where you were born, where you grew up.
Much of that I don't remember. I know I was born on we lived on the family farm near Hagersville, Ontario at the time. We went to the nearest hospital, which was in Hamilton, and moved to St. Catharines when I was about 4 or so. I had never been athletic. I never could play hockey. I skated on my ankles, which for a young Canadian kid, that's automatically like the hugest curse a young boy could have.
Well, he was for, I guess about 4 months trying to get a record deal on Rush in this country and couldn't get anyone interested at all. There was just no reaction. We were willing to literally give the album away if somebody would just make a commitment to promote it. Couldn't get that.
Part of the general attitude in Canada is, unfortunately, the people coming out to see you, not all of them, but quite a few of them go, well, they're a local band, how good can they be? And it's funny, when other people from the States come out and they see these so-called local bands, they go, man, these guys are fantastic.
There was no one in Canada to sign you. There were no record companies here. They were outposts, really. You had to get an American deal if you wanted to do anything.
I think Rush was born with moving pictures, really. Our band identity together, too. How we like to play individually and as a band at the same time. Now, when I look back on those songs, I'm glad to say to people that I will never get tired of playing Tom Sawyer, because it's always difficult to play right, And anytime I do play it right, I feel good. Oh, yeah, man, yeah, I'm going. We were that band that year.
We were playing 120, 130 cities in America. We were going back to places where if we were a theater act at the start of that tour, by the end of that cycle, we'd gone back to those places and we were in the
got a
arena.
little touchy about it. And I remember I started thinking about this thing about fame and how you deal with it. That was kind of an epiphany. And I said to myself, I'm gonna go where I want to go. And if somebody comes up to me and he's nice to me and wants an autograph, I got time for
I want to live it. And people can think that I'm antisocial or a sourpuss or anything. It's really not. It doesn't make me mad. It embarrasses me. The other guys, are obviously comfortable with it. They do the meets and greets every night, and then fine. So, they can do it.
It's not a big deal.
I remember when I met them, I was just struck by Geddy Lee and Lifeson's friendship. It seemed like they had a real deep bond, real playful and sort of goofy. Just seemed like there was a lot of joy there, a lot of genuine fun. And then I turned the corner, and then I saw the master, NeIL Peart. He had sort of a different vibe going, just as focused, but a brewing intensity, little wisps of darkness.
And NeIL has a real struggle with fans, and it's not a personal thing. It's a shyness thing. He's not able to be as relaxed around strangers as Alex
They're
is.
trying to find their hotel and knocking on their door or interfering in their lives in any way. I don't understand. I love being appreciated, being respected is awfully good, but anything beyond that just creeps me out. Any sense of adulation is just like so wrong.
I got a chance to go meet NeIL Peart, and I got brought into a room and I started to tell him, hey, I'm the hugest fan ever, and I got sort of the NeIL Peart cold shoulder, and the security guard removed me from the room. It was a weird, uncomfortable situation. I love NeIL Peart even though he totally blacklisted me. But I don't know, like if I was NeIL Peart and I walked in the room, I would probably want to remove me too.
NeIL was great, very intense man, but his line, I can't pretend a stranger is a long-awaited friend, that's NeIL.
Communicate to them, make them feel like their experience is heard.
I have this memory of sitting in the basement with my mother. I actually said to her, I want to play you a song. And it was very hard to ever get my parents' attention or anything, so it was like a big deal. Will you please sit here and I want to play you a song? And I played Entre Nous, and I gave her the lyric sheet. because I wanted her to understand that this song was connecting with me on some level. When I was 16 years old, I wasn't as emotionally open. I was very withdrawn. So something about that song allowed me to say, somehow this song is almost like it's written for me.
To be just a complete added dimension of not being just obsessed with girls and hair and shit like that. You know what I mean? They seem to be kind of smart. And of course, fancying myself as a really smart kid, I was like, oh, that's my deal.
Not so clearly charted, it's really just a question of your honesty. Yeah, your honesty has come.
Would you please welcome from Canada, Rush.
If you got bands together growing up, you didn't think about writing your own music. You learned other songs, and you kind of identified yourself by this kind of music you play. And all the best players that quickly learned the language was Rush.
This is awesome.
First time I heard Rush, I was like, oh my God, I had no idea this band was this incredible. I became obsessed. They were my gods.
I listened to it and I thought, wow, that is amazing playing. My mind was just totally blown.
I bought every magazine, I had every record.
Rage Against the Machine.
I would go to sleep at night with Rush on the heads, wake up and it was still playing. Like, I did that.
I, Sebastian Bach, was member number 3 of the Rush Backstage Club of Toronto, mother trucker.
Rush is just one of those bands that has a deep reservoir of rocket sauce. A lot of bands only got so much in the bottle. They use it up sometimes in one song. These guys were the real deal. Their bottle was so big and so filled to the brim. They were shaking it literally for decades. And still there was sauce coming out.
It's fearlessness. It's the quality of starting to write a song and not caring about what's popular, what's not. There's only one band that sounds like that. What kind of band is Rush? It's Rush.
That's right.
When people step back and actually really look at who the great bands were, they are one of those bands. But somehow they were never popular enough that they get commonly name checked as one of the great bands of all time. A lot of the other stuff has been over-explained.
True.
Zeppelin has been over-explained. The Beatles have been over-explained. It doesn't tell the whole story. And you can say, why was this band marginalized? What was it? It doesn't matter. At some point, they're there. And somebody has to explain why they're there.
Do it. Do it.
This was the first time I was admired for it. And that doubled my fervor about playing drums. Fortunately, I was in a very serious band at the time called JR Flood. We practiced all weekdays and then weekends. We were playing high schools around Ontario or the Knights of Columbus, Smalls. '74, I was working behind the parts counter for my dad at the farm equipment dealer, and this white Corvette pulled up.
A white Corvette doesn't pull up in the farm equipment dealership that often. They came and asked if they could talk to NeIL and take him out to lunch, and I could tell as NeIL come back the rest of the afternoon that he was really troubled with something. He told me then that these guys were the managers of Rush, and they wanted NeIL to come over and audition, and he said, I don't know what to do, Dad. And I said, well, 2 things. First of all, we'll talk it over with your mother. But secondly, as far as I'm concerned, this is your passion. This is all you have wanted all your life. And I said, I guess there'll always be a parts department here, so I think you've got to go for it.
This kind of gangly guy, really kind of short hair. My first impression was that he was kind of goofy.
I remember thinking, this is not nearly cool enough for this band.
Rogers with 2 18-inch bass drums and everything set up really high, kind of weird looking. And I was
blown away. As soon as he started playing, he's playing these triplets, and he was so good.
I think it's very common for musicians, especially in your early years, to feel that you totally blew it. And I had that feeling. I could have played better. I should have played better. All that stuff. But they picked me.